Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today is October 12th, 2021, and here is the next update to the pepper series. So I'm starting to do updates more frequent because the plants are just doing so beautifully, and I want to show you guys before it is too late. We're getting towards the end of the season now, and the temperature is cooling down quite a bit, and the plants are just loving it. They're just going nuts right now. So we are going to go around and I'll show you what they look like. But first, let me answer a question that a few people have been asking, and that is regarding fertilizer. Okay, so this is what I have been using on a weekly basis. Just give the plant a little bit of this. You can go with the instructions if you want. It's in the back right here. Just follow that exactly and you're all good to go. So I got a bunch of these from last year when they had clearance. So if you go to Walmart or Home Depot at the end of the season, they mark this thing down a lot. So I think I got these for like $3 or something like that, but the normal price is around $6 or $7, which is not too bad. It's a great product. It works really well. It's very easy to use because they're like the granular. You just throw them in your garden, and when you water, the thing would break up and it will feed your plants. And that is all I've been using, nothing else. Okay, so that is as simple as that for fertilizer. So let's go and look at the plants. This first one here is the white Thai crossed with my Lingria. And man, this thing is loaded down. I've harvested so many pods already. I pick these plants around here every week. I get like Ziploc bags of them and I just give them away. And a week later they will put out these new ones here, and then the new ones will get bigger, and then I'll have more again. So they do produce very fast. And the red ones are gonna be soft, so I may use that for seeds and just to use as like to dry them up for powder and to make chili oil and all that stuff. The red ones are good for that, or to cook. And here, this enormous plant here is one of my newest cross. Haven't given it a name yet, but I will soon. It's a Chocolate Linzo cross. And man, it is just so loaded down with pods before I picked it. But still, even after picking it, there's still so much left. You see all those chocolate ones are the ones that I didn't get to fast enough, and then they just ripen up. And so they do get softer, but they're very nice and spicy. I love them because they look really nice and beautiful, and they're just so productive. And that mammoth plant over there is my StarrScream, and it is a beautiful plant that's producing so crazily right now. Lots and lots of pods. They all look very strange. You know, the shapes are all over the place, but some of the shapes are really neat looking, kind of like a little tail or a tongue or whatever it looks like, and it's twisted in all different places, so it's really odd. And there it is right there, the red color. But look at that, guys. It's loaded with pods. I mean, the pods look just like the leaves, so you may not get to see it until kind of like examine it closely. So that the chocolate does get red at the end. So a very interesting looking plant, and it is enormous. And here's a little extra plant that I have, so I placed it here. Another of the Linzo cross. This one was broken by the wind a while ago, but then it made it back and still producing a good amount for just such a small plant. And the same with this. This is just I think this is a volunteer, so I don't know what it is, but it's probably one of those Linzo crosses from last year. And here is the red StarrScream, and this one is a different one because I have two different kinds, the one that are long and the one that are round. These are the rounded ones, and they produce in bunches. And look at this, guys, there's bunches everywhere. So every bunch you go to, there's like pods. Look at that. See? So many pods. They grow in bunches. Really cool. Just like those cluster Thai peppers. These do turn red like that right there. And the amazing thing is they'll have bunches right there, and the little bunches will have more branches, and those branches may potentially get more branches, and then they just produce all over the place. So you see, there's peppers down there, and those branches branch out to more here, and then the branch will have more branches, and then they're just beautiful and really nice looking plant. Look at that. I don't think the camera can capture how beautiful this plant is, and the way the pods are looking is just so nice. Okay, and here's the Lingria. Man, I just stopped picking pods off of this plant because I have so many plants to pick from and I forget sometimes. But these are really, really nice looking pods. And they do also grow in little bundles just like the other ones. The Linzos are really neat varieties. They produce like crazy. And here I just placed these plants in the sun. This is the white tie crossed with the Omni color. Very interesting. And this is the StarrGazer Gold. We had huge amount of wind last night and it's pretty strong. It kind of blew this guy over a little bit. But this plant is it's really cool. The leaves are almost matched up to the pods. And this is the StarrGazer Gold because it's a golden color. And I do have a StarrGazer Red, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. But first, let's look at the tie crossed with the Omni color. So very similar to the tie. You see how it looks? But the pods are a little bit thinner. Hundreds and hundreds of flowers. I think this variety preferred the cooler temperature because in the heat of the summer, it didn't produce anything at all. It just dropped all of the flowers and now it's starting to push pods. So yeah, definitely a variety that prefer a little cooler temperature. And some extra white tie here that I put out into its own pod just for testing purposes. And this is another unknown variety. I forgot what it is. Okay, and here are some of the plants that I have in pots sitting under the patio to get away from the crazy heat during the summer. And these plants are doing really well. This is the KhangSta Yellow. Look at this nice looking pod right here. The shapes are still all over the place. So we'll see. I'll keep on growing this variety because I really love the way it tastes and it produced really well. The pods look nice and just a beautiful plant. And then we have the Lemon StarrBurst right here. I'm just waiting to pick these pods for the contest that I'm doing right now. These are all the ones that I'm gonna pick to put in a box to send off to people. So if you guys have not entered the contest, make sure you do it because the drawing will be this Thursday. And then we have Brazilian starfish here. Man, I love these Brazilian starfish. Look at these. They grow very nice and skinny, like vines. But the peppers are really interesting. It looks like a little starfish, I guess, but very tasty and sweet. Has a little kick to it, and it's just a really nice snacking peppers. I love it. Pretty productive too. I have a few more grown in the raised bed that are more productive than this. And here is the Christopher Bransdahl crisscross. It was a caramel color. Now it's starting to change to a brighter caramel color. Not quite orange, but that is the final color. The pods are really interesting and pretty. Round, and it has this little circular hole right there. So I have 2 plants of those. Even for a small plant, it's pushing some nice pods here. And here is some more of my Linzo crosses that are extra. These things produce like crazy. There are pods everywhere. Even for a plant that is sitting in a little tiny pot. And this one here, another of the Linzo crosses. And look at that, guys. I have picked a lot of pods off of this already too. And they're really not really hot. They're bite size, so like one bite and you can eat the whole pepper. So that is the reason why I love this variety. It's so productive. It tastes great. The heat is perfect. So I eat this raw with Thai food and all that stuff, and I also use it to make these Thai dips and all that stuff. So they're really nice. See, love how productive they are. You just keep picking, and it's almost like these are endless. They just keep having more and more. And here are some more of those right there. You see, so many. That's the reason why I don't run out of these. Look at this. They're just so productive. So I get so many of these Thai varieties that are across my Linzo. They look like Thai varieties, but they're Linzos crosses. I guess the original parent was a Thai, so it's a Thai, I guess. But look at that. It's just so nice. And this one here, this is the first plant that I show you. This is just an extra one that I placed out here, and beautiful pods. I love it when they have these little nice purple blushes, and then sometimes there's orange shade on the side. Those are really cool. And here is the Alegria Riojana from Spain. This started out as a really tiny plant. I didn't think it's gonna produce this much, but look at this. From just a small plant, it's not big. I think this variety can get much bigger and will produce much more if I grow it correctly. I started this guy in a little container, really small, in a baby jar, and so when I placed it out here, it's kind of like was at a disadvantage because the root were so root bounded, but I'm surprised it bounced back and have that many peppers. Okay, next up here we have my KhangSta Orange Flame, and then this year I got the Yellow Flame right next to it. Exactly the same looking pods in shapes, except this one is yellow and these are orange. Look at that, see? And the yellow one actually came from the orange seeds that I collected last year. And so yeah, very pretty. Love this yellow color. I don't know why I'm really drawn to yellow color pods. They're just so pretty. Very bright and look almost like my Lemon StarrBurst in color. And the orange one is pretty bright also. So I have 4 of those. And then my Jay's Peach Goes crossed with a Primo is finally ripening up, and it is red. Look at that, very pretty. I love this variety. It's very, very spicy. It has those wicked Primo shapes, and sometimes they're longer, just like the Jay's Ghost, like this here. Look at that, guys. Wow. See? Beautiful. And more extra of the Linzo crosses, so they're everywhere. You see how they're just so productive. I think I only need 2 of these and I should be set, but I have them everywhere. And my favorite raised bed here that is holding all of my white Thai. Look at this little baby white Thai plants with all those pods, even the little ones here. See, these are extra, as you can see. I don't know where to put them, so I just place them everywhere. And even then they're neglected and all that, and they still produce beautiful peppers. Look at that over there. You see like a sea of them. Right now is like the best time to show them because the color is actually super white, and see that it is really white. And then they do turn orange, and they have shades of purple and all that stuff, and then finally red. But look at that, guys, beautiful. And this variety you can keep picking, they just come right back. So we have about maybe 3 to 4 weeks left, maybe even more, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll be picking those for a long time. This one here is the NHT FireBlast. And this guy finally started to show all of these pods here. Very productive variety. And the pods are just matching up to the leaves, so it's hard to see. But it is pushing out pods. So our buddy on Pepper Lovers, he created this variety. And I really like it. You know, it's very spicy. And it's smaller than a ghost, so it's one of those where you can just pick them and bite at them during your meal and and get some heat out of them. So they're really nice. I like this. So the shapes are pretty consistent. They just look like this. Look like mini ghost peppers or something like that. And then I have my orange habanero. Orange habaneros are like, it should be a staple in everybody's garden because they're so easy to grow, and the heat is just perfect for salsa, hot sauce, and all that stuff. And they do produce a ton. And oh man, the wind broke my branch yesterday with all these pods on there. But look at this, guys. See, every single branch, there's pods on them. I think there are more pods than there are leaves. You see? That's the beauty of habanero. They're just super productive. And then I have another habanero over there, which is the same. I bought it from Lowe's, and in one container it contained 2 plants, and so I separated the 2 plants, and that's how I got 2 plants. So if you go to the big box store and buy peppers, just pick one that has 2 plants in it. That way you can separate them, and if you have a long season, they will just bounce back and give you lots of peppers. And this is my Lemon StarrBurst that I grew for the contest. This guy is a champion, guys. Well, champion in my garden at least. Nowhere a contender. The pepper lovers community, people are just amazing. They grow just ridiculous plants. Last year, a few people grew a Lemon StarrBurst that produced like almost 300 peppers, or some had 300 and more. I don't think I've ever had a Lemon StarrBurst that produced that much before. But wow, that's, see, pods everywhere. The shapes are nice too on this one. That's the one that I actually selected from all these years that I've been growing. So I select the pods very carefully and I save seeds for those. These are Houston white ties. Very nice and productive. I showed a lot of pictures of these. And next we have the StarrGazer Red. Guys, this thing here is loaded down. Look at this. There's pods everywhere. So you see? Kind of like blend in with the leaves. So StarrGazer are just awesome. They're really hot. Taste like a chinense. But the heat is a little reduced, so it's perfect to eat, and it has a good aroma. Okay, next up we have my beautiful plant that's stuck in there, and that is the pink tiger. And there are some pods in there, but it's so hard to get through. I'll show you one that I have in a can. Okay, here it is. This is the pink tiger, same as the other one. I might just dig the other one out and bring it inside for the winter, because I really like the way it looks. I love the leaves variegated, and the pods are purple. It does change orange and then red, so it's a very nice looking plant. Okay, and next we have 1, 2, and 3 of my peach pumpkin. These are really neat, guys. They turn peach later, so hopefully by Halloween I would get some pods that would turn orange, so that I can get some of these mini pumpkins to carve. If not, I'll just do it after. I think I grew them a little late this year, but I usually aim for Halloween to grow these guys. And here we have the KhangSta QueeNhi, and man, I just love the way they grow. These are not spicy at all, but I'm taking some seeds and I'm gonna grow it in my AeroGarden to see if they are actually going to be sweet the next year, because this plant actually came from a pretty spicy pod. And then I have my Sugar Rush over here. These are just volunteer that I picked out, but even then they still have some pods. Look at this extra white tie. I'm putting these everywhere and I don't even care for them, and they produce. Another of my Chocolate Linzo cross. This is a Chocolate Linzo cross with a Lingria. And here is another Linzo. Actually, no, sorry, Lingria. And you see, I love how they grow. They grow in little bunches like this. And lots and lots of pods. I keep picking them, but they keep coming back. So it's a very interesting plant right there. And I have my test raised beds here that I have some white ties in there, and Brazilian starfish back there, some more white tie over here. So here, these Brazilian starfish are ready. I love these. They're so nice and sweet and crunchy, and very little heat, which makes them very good snacking peppers. I think you can also pickle those and they would be great as well. I got a bunch of radishes in there that I am testing. Those radishes are basically for attracting aphids, and the aphids usually go to the radishes first before they go to the peppers. Same thing with here. I have some radishes in there as well, and have some peppers in here that I was testing, and they are actually doing pretty good. The soil was bad. I wanted to see how well they would perform, and then I started to fertilize, and then they are doing really well. Look at this, growing really big, even push out pods already. So I don't know, maybe I'll get some pods towards the end of the year, but we'll see. But these are just a little bit late, so that's why they're still small, but they look very nice. And those are the Eagle Claw white ties, beautiful peppers. And that is a ghost variety. I think I have 1 or 2 pods on here, just a regular ghost. Okay, finally the last few peppers. These are my Super Pequins, and guys, these are going to be so cool. You see here, this is one of the pod, and they're tiny. So originally I crossed my Super Pequin with a KhangSta Hornet, and so now they get like these super hot looking shapes, but they are tiny peppers. So these are gonna, this is the fullest that they'll grow, and they are quite spicy, and they're just tiny. So that is the really interesting thing about it. See, this is the biggest they will get, and they do pack a punch. They're very spicy for being such a small pepper. And then this last raised bed, I have a bunch of just random things, and some peppers in here as well. You see these here, and with these here. Look at this. I think these are the Lingria, and even I'm not doing anything to these and they're still growing. So that is the update for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below, and thank you so much for watching.